With the first round of harvest season done, I went ahead and began this late summer, early fall by prepping some dried wheat and putting it in some jars to use in some upcoming floral arrangements. And then I started dreaming, what exactly do I want my late summer, early fall decor to look like as we transition into the fall season from a sweltering hot summer.
Hey there, and welcome back to the Seasonal Storm. My name is Jess, and we are beginning fall crafting. So I'm not diving straight into pumpkins and orange and black and Halloween and all that. I really like to embrace harvest season and lean into the late summer, early fall side of things before slowly progressing through my seasons. And I've gotten some of my florals laid out here today, and I'm working on a variety of projects that you can kind of see some sneak peeks on in the background. So before we dive right into floral arranging, let me walk you through my process. For the first wreath that I'm going to work on, we're really leaning into this late summer, early fall vibe, and I've got all my different floral pieces to work with here in front of me. But I want to start by kind of showing you some pieces I decorate with during this time. So I really love leaning into this hot apple cider and all things apple themed. I think it's kind of a really overlooked fall theme, and maybe it's me. I'll be the one to bring back the apple. So I got this sign last year at Dollar Tree, and they have a new version this year of it. This was $1.25. Absolutely love it. I think it's very classic. I got this sign that says hello fall, and we've got a lot of sunflowers. That to me, the sunflowers are really the focus. We have a little hint of pumpkins, and we have some leaves and some berries, but really the sunflowers remain the focus. And when we first enter that fall season, when the leaves first start changing, it's still warm outside, it's still sunny outside. And I think that leaning the sunflowers and apples, while it's a great summer theme, it also ties really well into the fall theme. So I'm hoping to really emphasize that in this first iteration of this wreath. But I'm gonna show you how I'm gonna do it for late summer, early fall. And in the second version, we're gonna tailor more to fall itself. Now this wreath base, we're not starting from scratch, though you absolutely could. This one is this guy that I got for, I think it was listed $6.99 and it was half off at my local Goodwill. And I think this is a great base and this was a great steal. So I'm loving the fall color, but what drew me to it is all this draping greenery. Obviously the owl, can't forget the owl. But this big open space up top. Now we also have a few other little unique floral picks. So what I want to do with this is I want to lean into all of my harvest themes. So I'm hoping to incorporate some more green fallish leaves, some apples, and as many harvest elements as I can lean into this to really bring out the late summer, early fall. So let's start.
Okay, so we're going to start this by wrapping this really sparse Dollar Tree garland around our wreath form, and we're going to pull as many of the leaves to the front as possible just so we get the most impact. We're going to secure this by pushing our other picks through it, as well as weaving the ends underneath the little wires in the wreath form itself. And then we're going to add our apple picks. We're going to add some cotton picks, maybe a grass pick, and some sunflowers and wildflowers as well.
Okay, so this is our wreath hung up. First of all, I am loving how it is as it is, but I do feel like it needs a little bit more greenery. So I took the little spring flowers off of this grass pick, and I'm gonna pop that in, and I'm gonna add a few more sunflowers, especially the ones with their little green leaves. So also on this gallery wall I'm starting to build out for the fall season, I have this cute little planter. I actually got this on clearance during the 90% off of Easter, and it was originally $8.99. They had reduced it to $2.24, but I got it for 89 cents. So this was a steal. And for me, this isn't just spring or Easter. Good morning, Brew. For me, this isn't just spring or Easter. This is a great piece for year round, but I stuff it with some little garbage sacks, and then I start to add my florals to this. So let's make this hanging wall piece.
Now, when you're working with entire picks that you're not cutting apart into smaller picks, sometimes we just have to continue spreading them out and pulling some parts forward versus backwards. And another thing about this little gallery wall that I've started here for my late summer, early fall is you'll notice I'm trying to bring in themes like the hot apple cider that tie back into the apples in that wreath. And I'm planning to do a few more apple themed items as well. But when we're not using full-size picks, what do we do with the leftovers? Now, these are mini versions of a craft I originally saw from Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home, where she used a pool noodle as her basis for her floral designs. And this, for me, is a great outlet to use up what's left over of my florals I've been doing other projects with to create something really cute that I can just pop into a little area or a little vignette. Now, I also like prepping my florals by pulling them apart before I mix them in with others, and I like to get as many of my containers together as possible so I can see how the whole scene will look together. All of these are going up high, and I'm not going to be able to change them until I redo all my decor for true fall or Halloween. So we're leaning in with a little bit of greenery, but mostly drier elements.
They're really simple, mostly made up of scraps, and my favorite part is these are easily transformable for when you're ready to switch things over for pumpkins and the traditional fall, harvest, and Halloween.
So we're going to start by making a hook out of the end of some greenery floral scraps, and then we're going to just pop in some other mix match fall-ish florals on top.
This theme is a theme that I first saw Olivia with Olivia's Romantic Home doing, and I've seen a lot of Pinterest people doing their renditions, and I really want to bring in some of that English China vibe into some fall decor that I'm making for my mom for her front porch. So I want to show you the inspiration pieces before we get to building out this wreath. So to start, I saw this cute sign at Dollar Tree for $1.25 that I'm going to make into a yard stake. And it's got some plaids, but notice all the pinks in this piece. So while we have a lot of the traditional fall orange, we're gonna bring in some of those fun pink colors. And the reason being, my mom's china that she sets the dining room in has a lot of these pinks and merlots and reds, and merlot and that red color is my mom's favorite color. So we're gonna make her something very fun and very unique, but also she lives in a brick home, and I think it's gonna be really interesting to see these colors really bring out the richness of the brick. So I got her that sign. I also got this other fun little yard stake sign with more of the pink, more of the plaid. So you're kind of seeing that we're leaning in some purples, some really unique fall colors as well that are trendy, as well as the very traditional oranges. So this whole idea for me, even though I loved Olivia's video, didn't actually start with Olivia's video. It started with thrifting this piece, which normally you would put underneath a cloche or a candle, but I love that it had these beautiful red berries, these apples and pears. That's an apple, that's a pear, I don't know why I pointed up the other ones, and some fun feathers and these really interesting browns and reds in the leaves. So I got one of my favorite grapevine style wreaths, which I got both of these at the thrift store for $2.99, and I think this one was half off. So I'm going to start by layering my two wreaths and using this pre-made one. See how much that fills it out already. So we're not starting at ground zero, but then I'm going to pull from all of my fun pieces to make something really fun and special for my mom. Now, I also do have some ribbon, and I also got these beautiful merlot-ish color, burgundy colored burlap leaves that have these twisties on the back. So we're gonna pop in some of those really trendy colors, but we're still gonna keep a little bit of the orange to keep it for fall. And then I'm gonna start with a great late fall, late summer, early fall wreath. And then I'm gonna show you how I would update it for more of the fall Halloween season with some pumpkins. Okay, so to start on this more romantic wreath, as I said, we have this insert and we have our wreath, and we have to remove our tags. Oh, okay, that's an industrial staple. Okay, so normally I would use floral wire or a zip tie or pipe cleaners, but we're actually gonna use these beautiful burgundy leaves and their metal tie-ons to anchor this. So I'm gonna flip the whole thing over. And because it's kind of an oval shaped wreath, I'm gonna anchor only at the sides. And we're gonna make sure we put our leaf all the way in and through. And find one of these wires is going around.
So once we have our burgundy leaves attached, you can see how full it already is, and we really haven't started to add our own touches. So I'm going to add a big bow before I start to add a few florals here and there and just a few leaves. I actually only used the leaves from one Dollar Tree leaf pick. I thought I was going to need more, but it was already really full. So I used one Dollar Tree floral pick that I cut all apart, and one Dollar Tree leaf pick, and one entire roll of Dollar Tree ribbon to make this bow. And that's it. So this was a very minimal ad project, which I think is amazing because it just repurposed 2 thrift store finds. So the wreath on its own, while it has some fall leaves in it, to me could really read late summer, early fall because it has an emphasis on the fruit and the flowers. But I've styled it here for you with pumpkins to show how you can transition a more summery piece into your fall decor, or even just to show you a different theme. This is so out of the box for me and so different than how I decorate my home. Which brings me to my next point. I wanted to lift the veil on some YouTube secrets. So here I am styling a random table in my bedroom with this fall theme I personally don't even decorate in because I created this wreath and I'm kind of working through some ideas right now. I understand that it's August and it is too early for a lot of people for pumpkins. It's too early for me. I'm eating a popsicle while I'm recording this. So I completely understand feeling maybe overwhelmed seeing so many decorate with me's and fall themes. If you're not ready for fall, that's okay. Save these videos for inspiration and come back at a later date and time. We're still enjoying summer too.
I'm gonna take this sign that I got at Dollar General a few years ago, and it's been a little bit weather worn, so I like the rustic look that it has, but I want to add some sunflowers and some slightly fall elements and some of these cute little orange flowers to it. Now I painted over the cow and I painted over the original lettering, and I might customize this to where I work, but I just wanted to take some of that pretty end of the season energy and bring it into the office, especially as we gear up for back to school.
Okay, so I'm going to start out just by laying down all of my pieces kind of where I think I want them, and then we just begin hot gluing, and it's just about as simple as that. If anyone has any fun words that I should put on the little orange arrow, let me know in the comments below, and thank you for joining me today as we get ready for the fall season.